Okay, perhaps there might be a problem. So yeah, I've come to the conclusion that my base is perhaps not a very, livable environment. I don't know how I let it get this bad, I'll be real honest. There's been a severe lack of videos recently, and I will address that later. But I'm gonna have to clean my base, I think. So I just decided to get to work and move all of my shulker boxes down to the seafront area, as that's where my storage system probably will be. And then I just basically rinse repeat back and forth, mining shulker boxes, placing them down the bottom, and well, that's kind of all I did. And then I went to bed and forgot about it until the next day. So right now, all of my shulker boxes are here in this big old, well, it's not a square. It's more of an oddly shaped rectangle, really. There are still some chests I've got kicking about. Basically, my plan is to get everything here. I'm not gonna sort through it. I don't know what my plan was. My plan was to get it out my house. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. I have come up with an idea. I've got a brilliant plan. My next build is going to be a storage area facility thing, and I have spent a very large amount of time figuring out how multi-item sorters work, because I'm going to sort things based on color. So why color? Well, when I'm building with gradients, which I often am, I need blocks of the same color. And it doesn't really make sense to have those blocks miles apart because they're different wood types. There are a lot of different colored wood types, some of which I would never use together in a build, so it just makes sense to have them separately. Anyway, now that the platform's built, I'm gonna go ahead and get the storage system built. Okay, and that's all that done. So now that we've got the basic template of the building, I basically just did it up to where the walls were going. And then I've put all the floor in, so this is all the outside ground. You'll see once the build's up, but we're gonna need to decorate the entire, like, around area of this to try and make it fit in a little more. So that's gonna be fun. But I've got an interesting decision that I need to make now. Do I want to do the building part, which I'm going to enjoy, or do I want to do the redstone part, which is going to be agony? And I'm gonna be honest with you, I think I might have to do the redstone part first, because if I am building when my storage looks like this, it might end up being agony anyway. So if I make the storage room first, I can go ahead and sort all of my items away, and then building the actual building will be a lot easier to do because I'll know what resources I have and what I don't have. Technically, I do have the list of materials for both the redstone and the build combined because it's all saved in one schematic, which I can toggle on here, and then you can see my my layer by layered approach. So I think we just get the redstone done, that way I can sort my stuff and I'll know what I have for the actual build, because I don't know if I have enough materials for the redstone, but I'm hoping I do, so let's just get this show on the road. Well, that's this section done. Well, I need to fill in the water streams, I suppose, but aside from that, that's this section done. So basically this part of it is, so this is the input for shulker boxes, and then that'll go into shulker box unloader, which will then shoot the items. It'll then shoot the items along out here. This is a non-stackable item sorter. So non-stackable items will get diverted into here, and they will shoot into up there into a chest thing that will be on the end there. So that'll be nice because basically the machine will break if non-stackable items go into it. So yeah, that takes those out and they get stored there, and then the rest of it gets sent through to there, which gets shot up there along this giant stream here to go to the input that's on the other side of the building, because originally I wanted the input to be on this side of the building, but it didn't work because it can only face a certain way, and because I've had to build this in a certain specific spot, that looks friendly. But because I've had to build this in a specific spot, I've had to make this giant tube to go to the starting bit, and yeah, it's a whole thing. But basically, normal items can go in there, shulker box can go in there, and then this is just where all the empty shulker boxes come out. Oh, and that'll be for where mob loot ends up, but that's getting sorted later. I've not added the sorter for that yet. And I am being attacked. My goodness. So basically, yes, that's how this machine works. It's a machine, and it will work, and I just need to finish the rest of it now. I'm gonna do the actual chest storage area next, which will be along there. And then I'll focus on the actual multi-item sorter, which is gonna be the most complicated part, and I'm not looking forward to it one bit, but we will suffer. So I've just gone ahead and crafted all of the wood and iron I had into hoppers and chests for the storage area, and I've actually just managed to have enough for the entire storage, which I don't even understand how I've done, and I still have a little bit of wood left over as well. Why did I have so much wood? Why did I have any right to have that much wood? I mean, we've got an iron farm, but I didn't think I took that much out of it that I'd have it in my personal chests. But, like, outside of that, though, like, this has gotta be, like, at least 2 shulker boxes of wood right here. Like, logs, I'm talking. Why do I just keep that on hand and not use it? Why do I do that? One of life's great mysteries. That being said, I'm kind of curious what else I'll find in my storage once it's all sorted here. I know that this place is going to be incredibly laggy because of all the hoppers and chests and stuff, but I have taken measures to make sure that it's lag friendly. You know, I've got the composters on top of the hoppers. I've waxed up my signs so they shouldn't create any lag. Yeah, I've been pretty efficient with this. I could have just forgot about the signs and the hoppers and whatnot, but I didn't. I'm keeping lag in mind. Of course, the next question is, do I have any kelp in storage? Because I think I do, but I don't know where it is. And there are a lot of shulker boxes to get through. Update, didn't have any kelp, decided it would just be faster if I went ahead and mined some. And quite a considerable amount of time later, we finished it. Which is... I don't know I really don't know what to say about it. It's done. I used late Matica to paste it in. It's... Okay, let me try and give you the best rundown I could possibly give you of what this thing is and does. So, this is a multi-item sorter, and if it looks familiar, it is because this is the design that Mumbo Jumbo came up with and built on the UniCraft server. I have just made it longer, which I know technically it defeats the point of them designing it to fit in one chunk. However, that's not really too big of an issue for me because I'm working in this area anyway, and I just know not to leave it running when I log off the server, and I have a pretty stable connection, so it's very unlikely that it'll break. Anyway, because I was going through the rabbit hole of trying to pick which storage system would be best for this, and well, this is the one that I could understand. I was looking at designs from lots of different people, and this is the one that I understand. So I'll link Mumbo's video in the description, because they do leave like a world download for it and stuff, and I dissected it, and this took a lot of time figuring out, because I genuinely can't remember if they put this in their video, but it needs to face a certain direction, otherwise the minecarts won't work. Because I originally had this facing the opposite direction, because you'll notice, right? So let me just walk through how this works, how you're supposed to use this. So I have fitted it with a chest that you can put normal items in. You can drop the iron in there. And a shulker box unloader, which so you can put shulker boxes with stuff. So if this has got stuff in it, you just mine it and you plop that in. I'm not going to do that now though because, well, I've not actually put any of the filters in and I don't want to break this. So that'll unload shulker boxes. That'll just put the items straight in if you don't have them in shulker boxes. This is where all the shulker boxes end up. All the shulker boxes are empty because I manually sorted things into their locations because I am sorting by color, which everyone I've told so far has told me is a terrible idea, but I don't care because it's my storage system and I'll do it the way I want. So basically, all of the items come down. In fact, I could probably just do this in FreeCam, that would be easier. So all of the items, so the normal items go through here and they go straight into that chest, which then gets sucked into the hopper stream down there. That chest is because I have put multiple things, multiple chests, double chests in various locations because I am terrified that hopper speed will beat will not beat minecart speed, but will conflict with minecart speed and things will end up going in through and basically it's a backlog. I don't think that'll be an issue here. I've just used chests to save on hoppers, and that might be. I don't know if that's laggier or not. I've tried to keep this lag efficient. I don't know what I'm doing. I'll be honest. So there's a shulker box unloader there. That's what this thing is. If I can get a decent angle of it. So this thing is a shulker box unloader, which gets basically unloads the shulker boxes. It will then send the shulker boxes up this stream, yeah. This one, which then puts them into the shulker box chest, and then they get stored there. All the items will drop down into this, which will travel through this, which is a single item sorter. So all of the a non-stackable item sorter. So all of the non-stackable items will go down into there and go up there and get sorted into this storage module. So non-stackables will end up there. All the other blocks will get shot out into this bubble stream, which will then travel along here and go up here, which I've not actually put the bubbles in this one, but it'll go up here and into here, which is leading into the color sorter, with the multi-item sorter, which will sort things based on color. Now, anything that's not sorted will end up in this chest here, which will eventually go down even further to a lower level, where this staircase will lead, which will have either more multi-item sorters or single-item sorters. Basically, it's everything that doesn't belong in this place, I'll organize neatly underground. Because 9 times out of 10, the only time I'm going to go down there is if I'm crafting blocks, because the upstairs is kind of just for the blocks, for building, and that's primarily what I do, so that works out. Now, you're probably wondering why I've shot them down here, and that is because, apparently, this only works if it is facing... and let me just check... This only works if it is facing that direction, which is... Well, you've probably already spotted it on the screen, but I'm not looking at the west. It's west. It's west. This thing only works when it's facing west. So, because originally in the design I had it facing east, because that's the way the building needed to face for it to look nice. Especially considering that I've connected one of the pipes to a trial chamber. I'll explain that one later. So yeah, basically the way I designed this building was to go here and face this way because my base is there, and it wouldn't really have been... The building really wouldn't have worked anywhere else. Because it's more industrial, it's not really a good carnival build. So it wouldn't really fit into the circus. The reason this is the case is because these, when powered, will face the other direction. And no matter how many times I tried to tweak this design, I'll admit, I'm not very good at redstone. But every time I tweaked this design, no matter how many different ways I connected this to this, it just wouldn't. It just wouldn't. Basically, the delay was then by adding even just keeping it redstone dust and only using a 2 redstone torches to invert the signal would make the signal too short, so the minecart would go right past it. So basically, this is the quickest I could do it with 1 redstone torch changing, which meant that it could only face in this direction because the default powered state needs to face that way, whereas when it's unpowered, it faces the other way, which allows it to connect to this bit, so it allows the movement forward. But do make sure to check out Mumbo's video if you want to check out a multi-item sorter, and I think they actually watched Lumion Thief to figure out how to do it, so yeah, that's my recommendation. Go check out a redstoner who knows what they're doing, because I'm just a builder. I don't understand what I'm doing. Of course, now I've got to go through the tiring and long, arduous process of actually making all the filters with all the items I need. Luckily, I thought ahead and have got images of all of my sorters, so I know how things are supposed to be laid out up there. Oh, I also need to put the shovels in. Okay, this contraption isn't nearly done. I need to do a lot more. So how about this deal? How about this deal? You help me, or you... Let's take a look at the list of things I need. Anything I don't have, if you have it, could you please supply it to me? And then... I won't pave over your starter base.
What? What do you mean pave over my...
Well, as you can see, it's getting very close.
This is not close, man.
I think I've gone over the halfway mark. Oh no, the cobblestone was the half. I've went over the snow blocks.
Where are they still here? Oh no, the cobblestone is here.
The cobblestone's here. The snow that was a little further this way have been removed because it is under where the storage room is. Whoops. So yeah, there's that.
You're like an oligarch.
What are you talking about?
I'm just tearing down the forest, ruining swamps, the wildlife, and then you come to the poor old man that lives in his hut in the swamp, all peaceful.
You live on a majestic mountain range.
Highway.
You
I'm
live
gonna
on
make a highway.
You live on a majestic mountain range, and you know it.
No, we don't talk about that.
I thought you'd moved all. I thought you'd moved all of your main chests and stuff.
Oh. No.
Okay.
Look. It's so complete.
Do you have any resin, actually? You were farming that, right?
Oh yeah, I have a ton of it.
Yeah, because I don't have any, and I need all the resin stuff. You have Can I have some acacia wood?
Yeah.
Okay, I just need a stack. A stack will do all the acacia bits and bobs that I need. The coral and the sponge is going to be a pain. Do you know who has sponge?
I do.
You have sponge?
Yeah.
How much sponge do you have?
4 wet sponges.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Exactly what you needed?
That was actually, yeah. No, that is... I needed 4 sponges, yeah. 2 wet, 2 dry.
You see, I'm helping. Well,
yeah, no, this is very helpful.
Like you're stealing from me.
If you didn't have...
You're just moving my storage to yours. No, mine. Oh.
Well, I'm actually not storing these items. I'm using them for the filter.
Just a filter for you.
It's so that I can sort the items. I need coral. That's going to be an issue. I'm glad you gave me the sponges, because the only other way I thought of getting sponges was, well,
I mean, doesn't Jack have a coral farm?
Does he? Actually, he might. Okay, coral might not be much of an issue. I just need to take a trip over to Jack's base. Thank you for giving me the sponge, because I was about to ask you to come to a guardian temple with me, if we didn't have those. Do you have any ancient debris?
Ooh, I might do actually. Oh, wait, I have ancient debris here in this random chest.
Oh, I just need 2. I just need 2 for the filter. Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye. Toodaloo.
So as you can see from that little interaction with Cal there, we did actually go ahead and find all the things for our sorter, and what we didn't ask Cal for in that clip, we may or may not have taken from Cal anyway. I may or may not have ran out of jungle wood and various other types of wood that I also took from him without being in that interaction, but he doesn't need to know about that. All he needs to know is that we do not owe him anything because he very willingly gave us that ancient debris, and I will not be repaying him for that ever. Anyway, there's only one thing left to do in the build, and that is actually make the build. So, I'm going to head into a quick little time lapse, and you get to finally stop listening to me talk for 20 minutes, and please enjoy the beautiful scenic time lapse, which I'm hoping will turn out okay, because it's, you know, it's the last thing left to do. So, see you once that's done. Well, I hope you enjoyed the time lapse, and this build is now finished. So outside of the time lapse, I went ahead and added some little bit of extra details. For instance, well, I didn't change anything on the exterior really. Well, there's something that's changed on the back, but I'll get to that. First thing I did was I've given it an interior now, so everything's looking nice and neat. I also cleared up all of the shulker boxes. Everything is now in the storage system, all sorted away. And if you're curious what it looks like, yep. Yep. That's going to be fun to find the blocks I need if I'm not building gradients, but primarily I'll be doing gradients, so that's kind of why I've done it this way. There's also a lower floor, which I think I'm going to decorate a little bit more. So mob loot will end up in there. And then along here, this is where the bulk items will go. So all the dirt ends up there, all the grass there, stone there, sand there, netherrack there, gravel there. This is where everything that doesn't get sorted ends up. So at the moment, we've just got a big old mess of random... That shouldn't be there. Okay, something's broken somewhere. Ignoring that, because I will have to pull my hair out fixing that later, I have also gone ahead and fitted this in, which... you can hear it now. Also inspired off of Mumbo Jumbo. I've added fans. I mean, technically this isn't inspired off of Mumbo, this is inspired off of Jake Kelton Craft, who inspired Mumbo to make fans, but I got these particular fans from Mumbo's world that he made in the video he produced, so, yeah, I didn't design these fans, they were way too complicated for my tiny builder brain, but I think they look really good, as, like, extractor fans on the back of the factory. I also think at some point I'm going to revisit this, and I'm going to add, like, smokestacks coming out of the the smokestacks. I'm gonna add smoke coming out of the smokestacks. And then here will be like a little like warehouse yard. There'll might be some like parking spaces for forklifts and various containers dotted about. I'm not sure yet. We'll come back to it because I do want to connect it to the rest of the dock going forward, which I've not built yet. So I need to get on that really. I do actually want to do an interior to this area, and make it look like a little storage warehouse because I'm gonna do an entrance to here. So part of the design of this building, it was that it very specifically needed to line up with this, which is why there was problems with the rotation of the storage system and all that stuff. But basically, it needed to line up with this, which was the entrance to the trial chamber. And I've ran out of copper, so I've not been able to go all the way down with it there. But eventually, this will be dropped straight down into the trial chamber. So if I just go into FreeCam and I pop down here, you can see that this is the actual entrance point to the trial chamber. This is my own personal trial chamber that's under my base. This is the trial chamber that, generally speaking, I'll take most people to if it's their first time in a trial chamber on the server, because of this room here, which has only baby zombie spawners in it. There's another one in here somewhere too, and it's quite a lethal room. Well, basically down there, I want to make it I want to customize it a little bit. I want to add like maze puzzles. I want to do some redstone stuff. I want to basically make it like a time trial. Get from point A to point B, and then you get bonus points for treasure collected. So the spawners, obviously, they drop keys and whatnot, and the loot I want to assign to a certain point in the storage system. And basically, it's gonna turn out great. And then you can have a scoreboard, and it'll be like a little mini game. But I'm not going to do that in this episode because that's going to be a huge undertaking, and I've already spent a lot of time on this episode. So for the time being, I'm going to have to call this the end of the episode. And now that build is complete, I can actually access all of my my blocks and things, so I know what I have, so I can actually continue work on the rest of the area. And my plans might change between episodes, but I think in my next episode, I'm just going to be doing as much as I possibly can. I might work on the dock, I might work on the fairground, might do trees, might do terraforming, not exactly sure yet, but whatever it is, I'm going to be trying to finish the base as much as possible. I'm not going to get it all done next episode, but I at least want a few buildings to show for myself. What are these signs behind me? Don't like this floor very much. Looks unfinished. Do better next time. Well, that's not very nice.